What crime exactly are you accusing President Obama of committing, and do you believe the Justice Department should prosecute him?
Obamagate. It's been going on for a long time. It's been going on from before I even got elected. And it's a disgrace that it happened. And if you look at what's gone on, and if you look at now all of this information that's being released, and from what I understand, that's only the beginning. Some terrible things happened, and it should never be allowed to happen in our country again. And you'll be seeing what's going on over the coming weeks. But I wish you'd write honestly about it. But unfortunately, you choose not to do so. Yeah, John, please.
Crime. What is the crime exactly that you're accusing him of?
You know what the crime is. The crime is very obvious to everybody.
As he said, you'll be seeing what's going on. The president is going big on a new conspiracy theory ahead of the election, something he calls Obamagate, which Rick Wilson immediately branded a slogan in search of a scandal. Susan Glasser writes in The New Yorker, if you don't get it, that doesn't matter. You're not supposed to. It's a slogan, a rallying cry. Details are all but irrelevant. Trump has accused the former president of a crime, but he hasn't explained what exactly the crime is. Today on social media, he demanded Senator Lindsey Graham launch a Senate investigation and call Obama to testify. Wasn't exactly well received. Graham told Politico, quote, I don't think now's the time for me to do that. I don't know if that's even possible. I understand President Trump's frustration, but be careful what you wish for. So to this end, we welcome to the broadcast Tim Miller. He's a contributor to The Bulwark, a former comms director for Jeb Bush, and a former top advisor to the anti-Trump PAC, Our Principles. Tim, a nation turns its lonely eyes to you. In lay terms, what is this? What is the president talking about?
Hey, Brian, thanks for having me. I hope your viewers have a nice peaty scotch with them, because this is kind of complicated to understand. Obviously, the president, as he showed there, doesn't even understand what it is. But the thing is there is a conservative media ecosystem that is very dedicated to trying to explain this quote-unquote scandal. And more damningly, the Department of Justice is looking into this scandal. And so our tax dollars are being paid to look into this conspiracy theory. So in short, there are two parts to it. One is pre-2016 election. This is the really wacko part, trying to convince Americans that actually the Russians did not interfere in the election on behalf of Donald Trump, but there was an international deep state coup and an inside job at the DNC that was overseen by President Obama and others to frame Russia and frame Donald Trump in an attempt to hurt Trump in the election. The problem with that part of the conspiracy theory is, Donald Trump won the election, and they didn't do anything or release anything about, the Russian interference before the election in a way that could have damaged him. So that part is so far out there that even many in the conservative media won't buy on with it. And so the second part of the scandal, a quote-unquote scandal, is what happened after the election. And that is this claim that the deep state basically tried to undermine President Trump. Judge Jeanine has gone so far as to call it a coup by creating a lot of false investigations about the Russian interference into the election in an attempt to get President Trump impeached and removed. And that's based on some very, very dodgy information indeed. But the most alarming part of it is this little drip of information that's coming out is coming from the Trump Director of National Intelligence, Richard Grenell, who has had no experience for this job, was a Twitter troll mostly before this, and now he's releasing little nuggets of information to give the right-wing media enough to make it seem like there's a scandal here when there's not. And I think that is why we need to look at this seriously, even though the claims are ridiculous.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.